Good morning, everybody. It's Marty, the JavaScript party, and Rhett is out in the living room. All the dogs are here right now, so just a little crazy. So I left her in there. It is 8:16 in the morning. It is Wednesday. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving. Today is likely a half work day for me, so that would be fun. That'll be the first time I get to sort of leave work early as a full-time employee, and this is the first time I've been a full-time employee in a very, very long time, and I'm really excited about it. So anyways, I'm working on this application. It's 8:16 in the morning, so 8:17, just turned 8:17, and I start work at 9, so I've got about 43 minutes to work on this thing. And what we're trying to do here is I'm trying to basically resize this thing, and while we're in a specific mode. Well, we're in this mode, it does a good job of building out as it's supposed to. So like if I resize this and I go here, here, and back to update, see it's the right size, but then I get a little bigger and it just stays the size it is. Go, oop, doop, and now it's that. But I'd rather it do that resize on when I resize the whole browser. And so when you resize the browser, technically what you're doing is you're resizing the viewport. So I created like an event handler to to recognize when that's happened, and I did get a piece of it working yesterday, which I was hoping would be enough I was thinking that magically somehow when this outer div was updated, that 3JS would automatically update it. So as you see right now, let's see. Um, it's not quite like the way I remember it yesterday. For some reason, I remembered the width getting set outside of there. But you notice that this is this size, and then if I resize, this gets resized. And it gets resized to 729 on width, but the width of the canvas itself is 749, and I want that to stay the same. Um, it is interesting because I thought that we were always setting this width, but maybe not, or maybe only in certain views. Let's see, if I go like this, inspect. Oh, yeah, that width doesn't get set. This width gets set. This position gets set with the element width. So I don't know. Maybe I just had got completely delusional and I thought, oh, I did in fact disable some code, so maybe that used to work that way. Um, but anyway, so as I was working through, I finally got it to where this piece would update properly when we were in this view, and let's see, we'll open this, but the canvas stays to its initial size. So Pebble, shush. Um, so right now the width of this is 675, and if I increase that, this guy changes to 676, which that doesn't even seem right because it can't be only 1 pixel bigger. Let's try it again. This is just bizarro world because it doesn't. That is so weird. I feel like we must not be seeing the right thing. Yeah, I'm not sure what's happening here. But it's definitely not working the way it was working. Try this again. Just gonna reload. Add viz. Go to this view. Go to this view. So this is 733 width of the canvas. This does not have a width. Then 717. This is 733, but the 717 doesn't even seem like the right width. Let's see, do I still have console logs? Yeah, see, so it should be like the width of 485, so I don't even understand. And it thought that, so I don't know what is happening here. I thought it was working yesterday. I could have sworn we had that working yesterday. Guess we need to go back to this app layout component. So viewport changed. Okay, current renderer ID, update visualization, resize visualization. Okay, so that's definitely a bad name. Let's fix that. We can at least fix that. I'm a bit confused at the moment. And then here we go. We'll go ahead and now just like changing names like that when you're working like in a full-time environment may not be a good idea. Because it's very possible that you end up like breaking somebody else's code, making life very difficult for them. Shush. That's one of those ones that gets funny because like you change something that affects them, but Git wouldn't notice because they didn't change it. So like they could write code that goes to that function, and then when they try to merge, like all their code quits working because like you changed the name of the function, and that's one of those situations where Git just won't figure out, won't be able to determine that you made a change that matters. But so we added this resize visualization app layout component, but it was in, I think I must, oh, okay, that's the layout component is what tells it, and that actually seems to be working. What doesn't seem to be working is the viz component responding, right? Because it's supposed to update the dimensions. Go to the dev, and then it calls this update dimensions, and that's this one. And that's supposed to update the width and height to there, to this width and height. And that, I thought yesterday, I thought we saw that that was working, but it appears that it is not working. So console.log. And the width is the only one that's changing, so we'll just look at that. Console log update width to. So, and obviously this doesn't even make a difference because it doesn't actually solve our problem, but we definitely do not want to leave this effed up the way it is right now. Maybe we won't even need it, but like if we do need it, we definitely want to see add viz 0 viewport change, and then go to this view. This is where you set left inner viewport changed. Update with. Okay, so we did not get in there. 0 element ref. Doesn't seem like we ever got to this update width. And maybe it's because it didn't. Oh, so that's probably why we're not seeing that width and height. Because I do think it might be important that that width and height be affected, but right now we don't see it. So now we go change the size, and it won't let us change the size. There we go. Okay, it can't get any smaller than that. Updated dimensions signal handler. So we never do get to there. So for some reason we never get past. We never do get to our update dimensions. Is that it? Update width. We never get here. So let's see if we get there. So we do get there. We have a new width of 579. Oh, because the height isn't changing. And I said and instead of or. So we got our new height and our current height are the same. Our new width and current width are different, but the change never happens. So let's go ahead and change that piece of logic. Like I said, I don't even know. Now that I get a fresh eyes on it. Yesterday I thought, oh, we've got the dimensions of the outer element changing, but then it looks like it's not even a thing. So we're kind of stuck in the debugger at the moment. Let's see, let's play this out. Go back to this view, add one. Go to this view, update. Now, I did change it to or. So let's look at our console. Let's look at this guy. 536 by 526. So it still didn't update it. It doesn't look like. With this 489. Well, maybe actually that does look right. $596. Yeah, I think that's right. And yeah, it seems to be matching up nice and perfectly. All right, so there was that. That was a little bug. That was a little bug. It doesn't solve our problem. And not only that, but I thought that we even started off with the width and height. So, and maybe we used to, and we kind of broke that at some point. Um, but when we first started off, that width and height isn't even set. It's only at this level that it gets set. And I think it is probably because I changed the way up here in this after. Like I think this is where it was happening. Update dimensions. And see, that's the thing is I didn't think I needed to do that because yeah, this code used to be there. So maybe I do need it. I thought that resize thing was getting called anyways, and that would do the update dimensions. I don't even know. See, it makes sense to backtrack, because you don't always fix everything perfectly the first time. So that is a reality. Yeah, so this is how it was before. And now if I change this, yeah, and that's changing accordingly, which makes sense. And then what we were hoping was that somehow magically that the 3JS would recognize that its outer parent had changed and update that, but that is not how things work. Now I'm surprised this morning when I kind of got to get another eyeball on this thing. Figured out that at this point, yeah, inside of our component visualization service, that is this guy right here. And this is a service that's only for the component. And when we go over here, we do in fact call this renderer, and we get a ThreeJS renderer. So this is outside. This is now left Angular, and we have a ThreeJS, a WebGL 3JS renderer. Right? Actually, it's a 3 WebGL renderer, and then that has the ability. Then we call render, which is a function in here, and then that we give that the renderer itself and the element ref. But one of the things that it does that we don't want is we don't want to append a child because we already have the child. Um, is that right? Okay, so the renderer itself has a DOM element, and the DOM element is in fact the canvas. Um, I wonder if we can just add a little bit of logic to this thing. Or so there's a couple choices here. One, we could add a little bit of logic to this to say, hey, if we already have it, if this render DOM element already exists in there. But to be honest with you, like if you append something that's already there, what does that even do? Okay, so I'm actually I'm actually just very curious about this. And that ChatGPT, I would say has about a 70% chance of giving me a correct answer. So I have this code, which is Angular and has and 3JS. Um, a question about reappending a DOM element that has already been appended. So like I'm trying to think of this like in human life experience. Like let's say there's a kid and he's part of the family. Like you're adopting a child and they're part of the family, and then so as part of the process you just say, okay, we're gonna append this child to that family. And then like a week later you say, okay, I'm gonna append this child to that family. You don't It's the same child, so it doesn't seem like there would be any issue with that, but um, so maybe it is no big deal to, but it behaves in a very specific DOM mode, can only be appended in one place at a time. If you append again somewhere else, the browser moves it. It does not clone it. Okay. Um, yes, reappending is allowed. It just moves the existing element. Okay, but so what if I append it to where it already is? Just moves it to the end of the child list, even though it's already inside. Okay, so literally we'll just make it like if you were to look like, well, I guess we don't even have to say like, so in this inspect, like let's say let's go over here to this view and we'll add another one. And now we look, inspect, and we look up here to this div, and you notice that this div has two children. It has this one and this one. So it's saying that if I reappend it, actually it's three children. Yeah, so it's saying that if I were to reappend this, it would just move it to the bottom. Since there's only one thing in there, and there should only ever be one canvas in there. Technically, we're not doing anything, and it's not even very expensive. Um, so if there is only one item in there, item element in the parent, um, uh, is this an expensive process? Because now you got to wonder, okay, is it worth it to even have extra? No, it's only okay. So it seems like we can just call this function again. This render in native element, pass it the element ref, the stid, the width, and the height, and it should hopefully just set the size and reappend the child and render it. So we'll give that a shot. We will give that a try. Give it a try. Just try it. You might like it. Okay, so boom. We'll go back. Back. Okay. So basically we want to do this exact thingy. Render in from our service right after the update. Render handler. Update dimensions, and then what do we call update dimensions? Updated dimensions signal handler. It seems like this is the right place to call. Okay, so it does not know what the render child. Okay, so that's kind of a bummer. It's kind of funny because we keep this render view child. And the problem is I don't. Well, maybe we just don't want this. Does it get an element ref? I don't know if it gets a. Yeah, it's something different. Okay, so that's a terrible name. Um, okay, so we are trying to see where that gets called. This render view child. That's weird. Oh, oh, this is an element ref any. Hmm. What do I call it down here? Oh, okay, so that's right. Oh, okay, I see what it's saying. Okay, so this code gets called. Okay, I see. We want to move that into here. Full X. Because this checks to see if the render view child is not undefined. And then I think we can just call it render view child. All right. So that is good. Good, good, good. And then we actually just want to pass in the. Ooh, we don't have the ID. We definitely want to pass in the width. And it's our new width. We will pass in our new height. And I would say that I'm glad that I haven't gotten like super confused at this point. And I think we don't want to grab it from there. We actually want to pass it in so that we don't have to figure out how to get this. So whoever's calling this update dimension signal handler, which I'm sure is happening in here. Escape. Now it's upset, but we want an STID. I'm glad it's called, so we know that it's our ID for our ST. It's called ST renderer ID, right? I guess it doesn't hurt to call it input. And that's a number. And that's what we pass in here. And we're calling it properly. Double check up here. Now, theoretically, that should solve all our problems. Yep, I think it did. To me, it looks like we are solving all the problems. We have completed the task. Let's see. What if we make it smaller? Oh, it won't change though. I don't think it'll. I think the way we have this set up. Yeah, it won't. It holds that size no matter what, regardless of this. So it only cares about width. But we're done. We're done. We are feature complete. And that's the way that works. All right, so we definitely want to sort of do, and this is a new thing. Okay, so I do want to clean it up and do a commit. And as part of the cleanup process is sort of look at these different pieces of code and see if they're still like unit testable. Because anything we can change now as part of this commit, and this is all new, right? This is like a new thing I'm trying. But anything we can clean up now as part of this commit to make it a little bit more unit testable probably decreases the chance of us having to build out, like do a feedback loop back to the um, doing like such a big refactor. Like it would be nice if we can just get the unit test. Okay, so I don't think we. Okay, so delete component. Okay, so whatever. That apparently is not true anymore. And oh, I wish I had been a little bit more like. So it, I wish I'd been a little bit more explicit onto what we're doing, why, what I meant by this. Delete component for ID. Okay, so I'm just going to get rid of this comment. I don't really like it. Strongly typed native element. I guess that's not a, especially considering it's misspelled. This is where the element is actually created. That's probably useful. Now, oh yeah, that was the thing we were wondering about is like, do we even need this? One thing we're not doing, I don't know, let's just see what happens if I get rid of this. I mean, I just don't know. I just don't have any idea. But if we don't need that anymore, I don't want it. We definitely need that. And oh yeah, that's why we need it because we don't just like this is for all the different views. So yeah, we probably don't need it for that other view. Um, be, we probably don't need it. Like, okay, let's just try that. Let's try it just for the sake of understanding this better, because we just won't be in this sort of position future. But my belief is, and I could be wrong, and I'm not going to dig into it too much if I'm wrong, is if I hit add viz, we don't see it. Change there, we don't see it. Go to there. Oh, what if I resize? Oh, yeah. So we definitely need this first build out. So that's good to know. All right. So this is where the element is updated. I don't think that's a useful comment anymore. Service the prize. Oh, okay. So that was the main reason for this. So the idea is, and this is kind of a new idea for me, is that I still have 9 minutes. Is that this visualization component service is not a singleton. It's every one of them has their own. I think that's the general idea. Now, did I do that? I did not. Oh, yes. I believe because I put that in here, that means that it's got its own version of this application. Every component has its own instance of this. So it is kind of weird that we're needing to pass in like information like STID and all that. Um, but I don't think that hurts anything. This is where the component that is probably actually a useful comment. Okay, we definitely don't want this this console log. And like I said, this is a new thing for me. I don't know if it's going to work out. I'm going to do my commit before I do my unit testing. And it could be that in hopes of like having like right now we have um, right now we have 8 or 9 files, so 9 pending changes up there. So that the last commit was like just under 100 changes. So get rid of that. Don't need these anymore. I wonder if we should put a little comment there. I don't think. I don't know. Put this. It's the native element. The next frame. That's one of those comments that it's at best it could be a benefit, but it's probably just for most of the time it'll probably just be neutral. Like it'll be like, yeah, obviously I know what the request animation frame does, but every once in a while it might be useful as a reminder. Update. Definitely want to get rid of this. This is our update layout. So this is the parent component, and that component tells the viz component what its width and height should be. And it's dynamic. I think all the other ones also tell the items what their width and height are, but they are static. But they will become dynamic, probably, at some point. So it's good that we updated the viz component to be able to do that. What happened here? Oh, this was a naming issue. It looks like it was not a naming issue that we just did. It looks like it's been in there for a little bit. So that definitely, I would not do that if I was working with a bunch of other developers right now. I would probably try to create a bug that's specifically about fixing that so that whenever someone was doing a merge, they'd be like, oh, okay, I see. Okay, this is one we just went over. Pretty thorough. So this is our first round where we're just looking. Normally, when I'm doing commits, this is the only round I go through at this point, is the commit where I um, just make sure that nothing is weird. Okay, oh, this is a brand new service, brand new, brand new. Okay, so now back through. Okay, so that won't affect, should not make unit tests almost impossible. I'm just looking for anything that would make unit testing almost impossible. All of these none of this should be an issue. And none of that shouldn't be an issue. If these are already getting unit tested, this one will get this one will get coverage too. Unit test is probably not there already. If that's already being covered, those other ones will be covered. Okay, this effect will fire, so this will get covered. This will get covered. These were already being covered, so that should continue. That's just removing. Update old should be very, very easy to unit test. Or to get coverage on, I guess is a better way to do it. And it's easy to understand every line. Update, this one might be tricky. Will have to pass it an actual element ref. And then a mock element ref, and then we'll have to make sure that it has everything. So it's going to be a pain, but nothing particularly hard because it doesn't, well, it does use this, but all it does is cover that, and this should be available. So it's not like I have to create something to make either of these available. Update dimensions, that one should be, it might be a pain to unit test, but nothing particularly hard. And then let's see, this was just a small tweak. Oh, this is just, yeah, getting it from the service instead of getting it from that. And all of this should. This might be a pain. Let's see how calculate positions gets called. The thing is I'm gonna have to make it where, well, actually, I guess all I would have to do is set this viewport width to something, and then whatever it is going to be different than whatever this is, which is probably going to be 0. And then I don't think this is going to be a problem. There's a small chance. I might regret that, but there's a small chance that'll be a problem. That is the unit test. Let's go ahead and just clean that up just a tiny bit. These should be easy to call. And that's the unit test, and then this one. That one should be super easy. And let's go ahead and commit that. Okay, so this is going to be video 317. Usually I can just hit up and get to it, but there happens. So 7 video goes. That's fun to see that I did that. And all I could say is massive refactor, which is a lame commit, but I don't know what else I could do. Okay, so update, resize, the update, resize, feature. And I guess I'll call this code commit. And then the next one should be unit test commit. Now I guess I shouldn't push this. I should wait till I get all the way to the other commit, the end-to-end commit, Cypress commit, before I do a push. Git add dot. I do that all the time. And now I'm not pushing. I'm not going to push because I'd rather lose the code because my computer died than push the code out because of push the code out and then not be able to undo it, especially because I'm working on a feature branch. So it's not like, oh, somebody's going to get this code faster. So tomorrow, the top of the list is to start the unit testing. It is 8:56 now, so I have to start work in 4 minutes. So I am going to sign off for now, and tomorrow we're going to run unit tests to see if we still have 100%. I don't think we will. We're going to be close though. And then as soon as that's done, hopefully getting the unit tests up to 100% don't trigger like a big um, refactor or fix of any kind. And then when that's done, run end-to-end tests. We do need an end-to-end test that captures this. This is a feature. Like I was saying, I don't probably like 7 videos ago. I do not consider a feature until it's got unit tests for it. That's just a new thing for me. I mean, end-to-end test. Once it's captured in end-to-end test, then that feature exists. It does not exist until it's in end-to-end testing. So that for me, that means that if I'm like, did I ever build that? I can run end-to-end test and see it. And if it's not there, no, I didn't build it. If it is there, yes, I did build it. Even if I had built it and I didn't write the end-to-end test, it doesn't matter. I mean, it matters from a code perspective because you might have some old code there that's doing something. But anyways, happy coding, everybody. Have a wonderful day. If you're here in the States, I hope you guys have a great. Well, I'll see you. I'll probably do a video tomorrow morning. But tomorrow's Thanksgiving. Have a great holiday weekend. Bye.